Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving into Java, and I know you're already interested in this powerful language, so we're skipping Java 101. Our goal is to uncover why Java is so popular and see how it impacts our lives every day.
Yeah, you're right. Java's reach is way bigger than most people think. Like the apps you use, the websites you visit, even some of the really important systems that keep things running, all powered by Java.
And a big reason for all that is Java's write once, run anywhere philosophy. You know the concept, but imagine this. You make an app and it just works. On your phone, your laptop, even your smart fridge.
That's the magic of platform independence.
Right.
It's all thanks to the Java Virtual Machine, or JVM. It's like a universal translator that lets Java code run on any device with the JVM installed, so you don't have to create different versions for different platforms.
Saves so much time.
Huge time saver.
And I bet it's a lifesaver for all of us constantly switching between devices. Our sources mention some crazy applications for Java, like Amazon dealing with millions of transactions all at the same time. How does Java handle that volume and complexity?
Yeah. Well, Java was made for this, high performance and scalability. Think about all those Amazon transactions happening at the same time. Java handles that no problem. It can process massive amounts of data and user interactions. That's a big reason why so many companies trust it.
That's really impressive. But we can't forget about security when we're talking about sensitive data, like financial transactions. Our sources talk a lot about Java's focus on security.
Absolutely. Security is built into Java, from cryptography and access controls to a secure sandbox environment. Java is designed to make it super hard for malicious code to do any damage.
So it's like a fortress protecting your data.
Exactly.
So when we're banking online or looking at medical records, Java is working behind the scenes to keep our information safe.
That's why Java is so common in industries that need really high levels of data protection, like finance and healthcare. It just provides that foundation of trust.
Okay, so we've covered platform independence, performance, and security, some pretty solid reasons for Java's popularity. But our sources also dive into object-oriented programming. It might sound intimidating, but it's a key concept in Java. Can you break it down for us?
Sure. Object-oriented programming, or OOP, is about structuring code based on objects. They're basically blueprints for real-world entities. It's kind of like building with Legos. Each brick is like an object, and you combine them to build something bigger and more complex.
I like that analogy. So how does Lego apply to building software with Java?
Well, in Java, you use code to define those blueprints, which are called classes. Let's say you want to represent a student in your program. You'd create a student class and define attributes like name, age, and grade. Then each student in your program becomes an instance of that class inheriting those attributes.
I see. So the student class is the blueprint, and each individual student, like Minnie and Sunny from our source,
Yes.
are instances of that blueprint with their own characteristics.
Exactly. And this approach has major advantages, like modularity, where you break down complex systems into manageable pieces.
So OOP is like having a well-organized toolbox, making development more efficient and less error-prone.
Exactly. And that's a big reason why Java has been so successful. But we're just getting started. There's so much more to uncover about Java's impact on the world.
Okay, are you ready to dive deeper?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm ready to go deeper. We've talked about why Java is so powerful, but I'm curious to see that power in action. Our sources highlight some interesting real-world applications.
Yeah, and it's that versatility that makes Java so special. Let's start with Android apps. Most of us use them every day. You might not realize that almost all those apps are built on Java. The games you play, the tools you use, Java, and its JVM-compatible cousin Kotlin.
It's wild to think that a language like Java shapes our mobile experience. And speaking of shaping experiences, our sources talk about how Java handles the massive scale of e-commerce, like Amazon. Millions of transactions happening at the same time. How does Java keep up?
Well, one of Java's biggest strengths is how efficiently it handles all those users and data. It can process multiple requests at once without slowing down. So even when millions of people are shopping, Java keeps things running smoothly.
So it's not just about handling those transactions. It's about making sure each customer has a good experience. That kind of reliability has to be huge for a company like Amazon. Even a few seconds of downtime could cost them a lot of money.
Exactly, and that's why so many big companies rely on Java, not just in e-commerce. It's all about that reputation for stability and performance.
That makes sense. Our sources also talk about another area where reliability is crucial: secure banking systems. We talked about Java's security features earlier, but how do they actually work to protect our financial data?
When you're banking online, you're dealing with really sensitive information. Java's encryption algorithms, secure communication protocols, and access controls. They all work together to protect every transaction and prevent unauthorized access.
So multiple layers of security protecting your finances. That's reassuring. It seems like Java isn't just about building apps. It's about building trust. Speaking of trust, our sources mention that businesses use Java for something called enterprise resource planning, or ERP systems. What are those exactly?
ERP systems are like the backbone of many businesses. They manage everything from finances and HR to manufacturing and supply chains. These systems are super complex and need to handle massive amounts of data securely and efficiently. That's where Java shines.
So Java isn't just powering our personal experiences. It's driving the operations of entire businesses.
Exactly. Its scalability, reliability, and security make it a natural fit for those large-scale systems.
This deep dive is really showing how much Java impacts our digital world. From everyday apps to those complex business systems, it's everywhere.
And we can't forget social media. Think about the constant stream of posts, messages, notifications, millions of users interacting in real time, all thanks to Java's multi-threading capabilities.
Wow, it's crazy to think about everything happening behind the scenes. Every time we like a post or share something,
Right, those seamless real-time interactions. They wouldn't be possible without Java managing multiple tasks at the same time.
so we've covered Android apps, e-commerce giants, banking systems, and even social media. Java's impact is huge. It touches so many parts of our digital lives.
And we're not done yet. Remember object-oriented programming? Let's go back to OOP and really understand why it's such a game changer for development.
All right, let's go back to object-oriented programming, OOP. I think this is where things get really interesting for anyone who wants to know how software development works.
You're right. OOP is fundamental to Java. It helps you understand how developers build those complex software systems. It's like this. Instead of writing a program as one long list of instructions, you build it as a collection of interacting objects.
So we're not just telling the computer what to do step by step. We're creating these virtual objects that represent real things and they can do things.
Exactly. Each object is like its own unit, with characteristics called attributes and actions it can perform called methods. Remember our car example? Attributes would be like the car's make, model, color. Methods would be things like accelerate, brake turn.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do we actually create these objects in Java? Do we code each one from scratch?
That's where classes come in. A class is like a blueprint, a template for creating objects. It defines the structure and behavior of all objects of that type. So for our car, we'd have a car class. That outlines what's common to all cars.
So the car class is like a general definition of a car, and then we can create specific instances of that class, each one representing a different car with its own values for things like color and model.
Exactly. We could have a red Ford Mustang and a blue Toyota Camry, each one inheriting from the car class, but with their own specific values, like Minnie and Sunny, the student objects from our source.
Right. Each student has their own name, age, and other details, but they all belong to the same student class. Okay, this is making more sense. So what are the benefits of using this object-oriented approach in Java?
One of the biggest benefits is modularity. By breaking a program into those smaller, self-contained objects, it's easier to manage. Each object has its own role, which makes the whole program clearer.
Like organizing a big project into smaller tasks.
Exactly. Another benefit is reusability. Once you've defined a class, like our car class, you can use it anywhere, different parts of your program or even other projects.
So we don't have to reinvent the wheel every time.
Exactly. And it makes it easier to maintain. If you need to change the car class, you only change it in one place.
Makes updates much easier.
Right.
Are there other benefits?
OOP is also really scalable. As your program gets bigger, you can just add new objects without changing the whole code base.
So flexible.
It's a really adaptable approach.
This whole concept of objects and classes, it's changed software development.
It has. And it's a big reason why Java is so popular.
This has been an awesome deep dive. We've learned about Java's platform independence, security performance, and scalability. We see how it powers everything from our phones to global businesses, and we've explored the world of object-oriented programming.
It's been a journey through one of the most important programming languages. Java's impact is everywhere, and its future is bright.
For anyone listening who wants to learn more about Java, I want to leave you with this. What would you solve with Java? What kind of app would you create?
The possibilities are endless. Java isn't just for experts, it's a language that can empower anyone. So go explore, experiment, and see what you can create with Java.
That's a perfect way to end this. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive into the world of Java.